Good morning, good morning. So we're here on Memorial Day morning, and I'm very frustrated because everything's closed. I'm trying to get insurance approved for funding my next flip, and everybody's not working. So I'm trying to think, what's the best thing to do? All my kids are at home, nothing to do. I thought I would go through one of my last postings and just do some comps and show, how we can get more comfortable with some of the pricing we're getting that I'm not advertising, but, estimating on my TikTok, right? And Instagram, of course. Um, but just for fun, we're going to run through some of this type of stuff and look at how those things are coming along. So let's jump to my page, which I'm already trying to figure out how to do. We're going to go to just my last posting here in Norwalk, and we'll go through a few just for shits and giggles. Let's pause that. 15429 Piuma. Okay, and I want to do it on Zillow. I could do it under my agent, um, my agent ID, but I want to do it in a way where everybody can do it themselves if they want. So 15429. So let's try and do it through Zillow. 15429 Puma. One nice thing I like about Zillow, you just start plugging it in. Once you get to about the first letter, if you do it correctly, it should give you that. And you know what? We can do the whole thing like comp it out and then maybe estimate repairs and all that good stuff, right? Okay, so here we go. Zillow has a turnkey value of maybe 730, 750,000, and we're starting off pretty low, 550. So let's go back to that area. We can't do a radius search, which kind of sucks. What we could do is a zip code search, and this is 1,000 square feet on 5,500 square feet the lot. We're just going to kind of remember that so we don't have to put too much thought into it. We want to do it kind of quick, right? So let's go here, just plug in the zip code, narrows us down right here. We do have sold already, so we're looking for sold comps. Actually, I'd love to do for sale and sold. It gives you more of an accurate idea of what's going on in the market right now. So let's just do for sale. I know that's not how you typically do it. You want to look at what's actually been sold, but I think this is not a bad way to do it either. So that, if someone's looking in the market to buy right now, what are their options and where does this property stand if you were to turn it around, you know? And we can of course do sold as well. So, coming soon? Uh, no, we don't care too much. I think it's going to include all of that, right? It's like these are not all just coming soon. These are on the market already. It's just kind of, so we'll just reset all the filters. We're going to go down here. We want to last sold, not days on market, but oh, we have to change it back to sold. I'm flipping and flopping everywhere right now. I'm sorry, my brain's everywhere. So yeah, we want to do for sale. I want to do bed baths. I don't really care about this, to be honest. I want to do property type, just stick with houses. Okay. And then let's go over here and we're going to try and narrow it down. So we're at like 1,000 square feet, so we want a good range. Let's call it 750 to maybe we go even as high, preferably 1,250 to really narrow down that range. Okay. Now let's see the lot size. Where's the lot size? It was like 5,000 square feet, so let's just go 4,000 and no bigger than 7,500 at the most. Okay, so apply to all that. Great. Now, where exactly was this property again? Let me just get an idea. We can just simply pull up the address again. What was it 15429? Okay, 15429. And again, I'm sorry I'm doing this on Zillow. I'd like to do it on my agent, but I want to give people an opportunity to see, how to do it if you don't have access yourself. So we want to just pull up a map. Okay, let's enlarge that. Okay, it's kind of by the freeway, right? kind of by freeway in Alondra. So we're over here, and where's Alondra? Alondra is, what the heck? Where are we? It should be Rosecrans, Alondra. There's Imperial Highway. It's gotta be lower. It's gotta be over here, but why? Okay, is this it? Alondra, or am I dreaming here? Okay, it's just right above Alondra by the freeway, by the 605. I'm in different areas. This is not the right location. How is this incorrect? Oh my goodness, it's over here. Okay, wow. That took a while. Okay, so there's your property. You have one right across the freeway. So all we have right here is this. This is going for 670, 1100 square feet. This is very similar actually, 3 bed, 1 bath, just like this one over here. Now, I would imagine because we're estimating the turnkey value to be like 700, right? What's our turnkey? 730. That this should be honestly, it should be a complete fixer. It's only been on the market 4 days, so ideally this one's got a lot of views, and it does. 1,000 views in 4 days is excellent. That means it's getting a lot of attention and it might be underpriced itself. So 670 is not bad. It's not in good condition. Everything needs to be updated, but it's probably functional the way it is. It would have been nice to see this maybe um a little bit higher in price even. But again, it's tough to say because it's only been on the market for a few days. And again, Zillow thinks it's underpriced as well. So both properties we believe are underpriced. Just the one that I posted was even more underpriced. Now we can go back over here, go back to our search. Okay, now let's switch it to sold. We're going to keep the current filters, except now we're going to add, what has sold in, say, the last, let's start with 90 days. I actually saw another one there for 70. Let's see if we can pull that back up by adding 6 months. No. How about a year? No. Geez, when did that thing sell, man? Okay, let's just keep it. Let's just find out when. So we have a great one right here. This one's like next door. 765, 800 square feet. I would hope this one being so small that it could even be remodeled. So let's go into here, and there's no pictures. This was a flip, you can tell. Look, purchased over here. The guy got it at an absolute ridiculous price, probably off market, I would assume. And we can check that to see if it was actually listed. So, no, see, he got it off market. There was no listing before this. Bought it off market 470, flipped it, and sold it for the peak. So this is a pretty good estimate. Remember, this house is smaller. Our house is how big? 1,100 square feet? 1,050, and this one was only 800 square feet. So you're talking about almost 300 square feet bigger. And if you remodeled, could you get to say 800, 850, something like that? I think it's definitely within the realm of possibility, and ours is an extra bedroom as well. Okay, so this right here, you're getting about $935 a square foot. If you were to extrapolate that, 935 times 1050, this you're not going to get 980, but at least you're getting some margin. You know what I mean? So absolutely an excellent opportunity. We can look at what else has been on the market. So this one, when did it sell? I'm just curious. So it sold in March of 25, but why when I put the filter for of 25? Oh, I see. So it should be like 2 years. It might still stay up there. Yeah, 2 years. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so 1,100 square feet. This one, we can pull it up here. And okay, 775. But what's the condition? Like if this property is in like a non-updated condition, then this again is an excellent comp. Same size house, pretty much is almost exact copy as ours. Three bed, one bath. Ours is 1050, same size lot, etc. This one's not a flip, so you can see they bought it back in 2020. Excellent time because they caught literally this entire move up. It would have been nice they sold it a little bit earlier, but so be it. They got it at they put it on the market in December. It didn't sell and it got a price reduction. So that all those signs tell me that this is not a remodeled home and that this is also a great comp because if this property can sell for 775 in a, fixer condition, that means ours updated should again give us a premium. I would say at least 825, 850 at minimum is a very safe number. So yeah, I'm not going to go ramble on too long. I think that was a very good example. Post this just because I'm bored, and maybe we'll do a few more. Okay, actually, I'm gonna do one more thing. I forgot to run the numbers of like how much you could make and what you should offer and all that good stuff, right? So let's pull up our nice little hard money calculator. All right, I'm gonna make it bigger because I know your screens might be smaller. So let's just say, well, first we're just gonna put in the numbers and then we can adjust them to see how much we can really offer. So let's just say we start at 550 is 1050 square feet, and our resale we're gonna say is 850. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's continue. So 850 is our exit. So this profit, while it looks nice and juicy, is too high. The property is going to go over asking, and you want to know how much you can honestly bid on this. So at this price point, because it's so, at such a low point, I think if you can make, let's just say, $75,000 on this, I think that's pretty, you should be pretty happy with that. And an 8-month turnaround is, I think, also pretty reasonable. Assume you finish construction, the remodel in 6 months, and you spend 2 months selling it, something like that. That's not too bad. So how high could we go on this price, you think? We can try 650. That puts it down to 70. So a little too low, in my opinion, although I know a lot of people that would be happy just making 50,000 because they're doing a lot of different flips at the same time, right? And again, this also depends on whether or not you're financing the way I put it here, which is you do 15% of your own money and you're self-financing, you're self-paying for the repairs and the debt servicing. If you decided to finance 100%, then you have to subtract this out too, which is another $12,000 if you were to say finance the additional 200,000 to. So essentially you have no money in the project at all. You're using private money and hard money costs to do the whole project. So this 70 would turn into like 58,000 profit if you were to not use a cent of your own money. And in that situation, you wouldn't have to come up with 200K your own money, right? Now that becomes more reasonable and you might want to adjust based on that. So 650, to be perfectly honest, I think is not horrible. If you want to really try and push it and get a decent deal, I think 625 might be the magic number. And if you want to play it safe on the other end, maybe you want to do, 825 exit. Now you're limited pretty much. You're back at these numbers, right? This is pretty good actually. And let's just say you want to even bid higher. Let's just say you go 650. Okay, now you're dropping your profit pretty hard. I'm surprised $25,000 in price makes such a big difference. That's really shocking. Interesting. Okay, so nonetheless, I think that's how much debt servicing really matters, right? Every dollar makes a big difference. Now, if you can do it faster, you can save a lot of money. Let's just say let's just be conservative. Let's just say you have to do 650, and let's just say you have to go 10 months. All right, now your profit margin is getting really thin. How about you go back to 625? So I think this is a very conservative, in my opinion, I think this is pretty conservative. Okay, you're 75,000 over asking price at this point. You got 63,000 in repairs and you're budgeting 10 months. So ideally, you do the repairs for less, okay? And ideally, you do it quicker. If you can do it in, let's just say, um, 8 months, your profit goes up to 72. If you can do it in 6 months, you go up to $80,000. So every month really matters. You know what I mean? So let's go back to 8 months, and maybe you want to overestimate repairs a little bit. Let's say you want to do $70 a square foot. That bumps you up to 73K. You want to be even a little more aggressive, do $80 a square foot. Maybe it's a major fixer. It's not that big of a property, right? You're down to 50,000 profit. And you can play with these numbers a little bit, but essentially you're going to need to get to a point where you feel pretty safe with this. Sorry, and I think that's a pretty good just going through the numbers and showing you how I'm estimating everything. And you can really work this 84,000. I think you can really work that budget. You're just going to go in there, do light remodel. You make sure everything's functional, of course, but you're not going to change all the systems if they're not broken. You're not repiping all the whole property. You're not re-roofing it if the roof is fine, etc., etc. Okay, I don't want to go too long, but that's good. Thank you.